Yeah, because Kathleen's coming.
She's coming, so leave
But
it
she's,
there.
yeah, she's coming at 8:30.
Yeah,
Yeah, hey.
let's be done, I have to pack.
She must be
I
done.
said
I'd like to be
8:30,
done.
sure.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Could we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. Thank you. Can I get a motion to open, please?
So moved.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay, we are now open. Thank you. So do we have our Student Board of Education representative, or do you want to? Okay. Okay, great.
Good evening, everyone. It's so good to see you. And Shannon, thank you. Ms. Kelly, thank you. And Mr. Nelson, we have some wonderful students who have been engaged in science research and have gone far and away to show their academic prowess. And I thought that as they brought those medals to us, it might be a wonderful thing for us and the community to celebrate their accomplishments. So I'm going to ask Ms. Kelly Shannon to come forward to talk about these kids and what they did and for us to recognize them.
I'm loud enough usually. All right. Thank you all for joining us. For those of you who know the research program, you know what these students are engaged in every morning before 7 a.m. So I would like to thank you for joining us to celebrate the accomplishments of the middle school science research students. Their work ethic this year is simply beyond compare. To date, they took first place at SAWA, which is the South Asian American Women's Alliance Science Research Competition, and that was in biological sciences. They also took second place, third place, and honorable mention. At the Long Island Science and Engineering Fair, they took third place in biological sciences, as well as third place in physics and honorable mention in physics and biological sciences. And we heard today that at Long Island Science Congress, our team with the maglev trains has been awarded something. We will find out on June 2nd, it's to be announced, for the Long Island Science Congress, and that was in the Division of Physics. So that's a summary of our work. So again, when you talk about research, you need to realize that the work ethic of these students, again, simply beyond compare. Not only are they tenacious, they are fearless. They came into this class, they didn't have a background to fall back on. They had to learn the intricacies of research, do extensive reading on what might they want to study for more than 4 months. They chose their projects, developed their projects, tested them, and then presented them, which can be very daunting when you're an 8th grader and you're presenting to multiple judges at multiple events with hundreds of students surrounding you. So we have reached a new pinnacle of success. It is not due to me. It is 100% due to them. We would like to thank Dr. Lewis and Central Administration, the Board of Education, Mrs. Florence Belay, our STEM director, our Herber leaders, Mr. Nelson and Mr. Miller, and all of the Herber teachers for their unwavering support of our endeavors. To the parents and guardians of my precious scholars, this would not have been possible without you. Thank you for entrusting me with your children and allowing me to push them beyond their comfort zones. I hope you'll believe me when I say that they actually do enjoy the work that we do in class, perhaps except for the pigs. I would be remiss if I did not recognize the man who first envisioned Howard T. Herber as a powerhouse in middle school science research. Mr. Stephen Gilhooly saw fit to bring me over from the high school almost 10 years ago, and together we transformed the program into what it is today. The tremendous success of this year is a testament to your visionary leadership, Steve, and I will never have words sufficient to express my gratitude. Finally, a word to my students. It is a privilege to call myself your teacher. Thank you for an amazing year, and I will see you all at 7 a.m. tomorrow. All right, may I call them up? All right, so now I have to tell you, I did not bring a printed roster, so you'll see how abysmal my alphabetizing skills are. Julian Abel. Alex Alley. Avery Bieland. Leah Cardenas. Marcus Daly. Banine Fatima. Olivia Frulio. Jaden Glenn. See, here's a flip. Eva Figueroa. James Gora. Isabella Harachand. Rafael Hernandez. Chris Montiel. Brennan Murray. Anjali Rambaran. Jace Richards. Christopher Palmer. Elmer Flores. Lucas Singh. Matthew Wiss. Now, they'll have words for me tomorrow. Count off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 16, 17. I'm missing someone. Who did I miss? Who did I miss? Oh my God. Ari Lespinaza. Did I miss anyone else? That's it. Did I get everyone, guys?
Yeah,
That was without a roster.
so great. You notice how they cheered for each other? Isn't that wonderful? And I just want to say to you, as a former science teacher and Science Olympiad person and LICEF person and Science Congress person, how proud I am of the work that you've done. And because of your efforts, parents and students, we've changed what's going to happen for you when you get to the high school. So the science research program at the high school had to get ready for you because they weren't. So we've expanded the science research for next year because we want to make sure that all those skills that you learn in 8th grade will be taken on in 9th grade, and you can go even further when you get, I'm expecting, in the old days I had a Westinghouse scholar. I still think of it, I had a Westinghouse finalist. Now they have, it's Regeneron, they have other names, but it's the same level of distinction. So I am expecting that one of you, when you are a senior, will be a Regeneron scholar. It's possible. You have the skills, you have everything, and this district will stand by you because we want to make sure that you go in the direction of your dreams. Just remember that. So let's take a quick picture. We have to figure out how we're going to do this. Maybe some in this row. What do you think? You can get everybody squished in, even if we put the board? Yeah. Can the board, come on. You students, very proud of you. And parents, thank you for your support of our district. Thank you. Okay. Now we have some Herbert students who are going to be our student representatives this year. Who will be updating the board? Mr. Nelson? Okay. Thank you again.
Good evening. I'd like to congratulate and thank you, the students, for coming tonight. You have worked super hard to get here. Ms. Kelly, thank you for your dedication and hard work to get them here also. I would like to invite Jaden Glenn up to give his presentation to the board.
Good evening. My name is Jaden Glenn, and I'm an 8th grade student at Howard T. Herbert. Currently, I'm enrolled in science research, Spanish, living environment, social. Oh. Currently, I'm enrolled in science research, Spanish, living environment, social studies, honors by distinction, and algebra 1. Last week, the whole school participated in the annual tradition of Sports Day. Sports Day is when each grade competes against each other for points. At the end of the day, the 8th grade beat the 7th grade by 4 points. It was a close battle, but we pulled it off to avoid an upset. And in the next month, I will be taking the FLAX examination in Spanish, our Regents of Living Environment, U.S. History, and Algebra 1. When I enter high school, I will have 5 state tests or Regents completed. I am excited to go to the 8th grade dance, the 8th grade picnic, and finally walk across the stage for the 8th grade moving up ceremony. I've absolutely loved my 3 years at Herbert.
Thank you. Thank you. So I know I have all 8th graders here, right? So guys, stand if you're going into the high school with algebra, having completed algebra. Because I'm looking for algebra with distinction. Okay, remain standing if you are going to go to the high school with living environment, which is a second Regents exam. And remain standing if you did, raise your hand if you did earth science last year. So already you're going to the high school with 3 Regents exams, right? Already for sure. And then if you are taking U.S. history, wave your hand. 4 Regents exams. Can you imagine that? You realize that there are not too many high schools around that will have 9th graders with 4 Regents exams. You know, I'm on the graduation measures for the state, and I can tell you that we are unique in what we do here. So I want to wish you all the best as you enter into the studies for the Regents exams. If anybody's even thinking of leaving us, realize that if you go to another high school, if you go to a parochial school, you have to repeat all of those Regents exams because they do not accept 8th grade exams. Understand that. You will come into the high school with 4 Regents exams already on the path to an advanced Regents diploma. Understand that. So we We have such opportunities waiting for you. And when you talk to your peers who go to other schools, you let them know what your Malverne education is, because that's very unique. And you represent the best that Malverne has to offer. Thank you, parents, for your support. School night, so parents, the rest of the board meeting, you're welcome to stay, but thank you again for coming out and supporting your children.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the April board meeting?
So moved.
All in favor?
Yes.
Okay, that's passed. Chris, can you give us the March and April treasurer's report? Do we
Yes,
have
the treasurer's report for March 2023 and April 2023 were provided to the board last week. If any of the board members have questions on either March or April, they can ask now or at a later time.
Does anyone have any questions? Okay, can I get a motion to approve both the March and April treasurer's report? All in favor? Yes. Chris, can I have the financial reports for March and April?
The monthly financial reports for March 2023 and April 2023 were provided to the board last week. If the board members have any questions on any of the various monthly financial reports, they can ask now or at a later time.
Does anyone have any questions? Can I get a motion to approve the March and April financial reports, please? All in favor? Yes. Okay. Communications, none. Dr. Lewis, can I have your report, please?
Thank you. Just a quick note, the alumni of Malverne, if you're listening out there and you're an alumni and you want to just send me a quick email, we are collecting emails because we're about to launch the Alumni Foundation. We have the bylaws all set. We have a group of alumni who are really, really involved, and I'm hearing from other people. One of the things we have done in the last 2 years unofficially is raise some money for scholarships. Already this year, I have enough for 2 $1,000 scholarships. That's already in the bag, but we are expecting more. But that's not the only reason. We do have an alumni foundation to do great things for this district. If you're an alumni, send me an email. You'll be in the database so you can be updated on the activities that we're planning. We've heard from a lot from the classes in the 70s because they're all going through their 50th reunion, the 71, 72, 73. This year is class of 73. We're already hearing from class of 75 because they want to set up a 50-year reunion. So if you are in your 30th year, 25th year, 10th year, those 0s and 5s, please let me know because we'd like to be able to celebrate your graduation. And the budget hearing.
Good evening. Tonight is the annual budget hearing for the Malverne School District. We will begin by going through a PowerPoint presentation. The proposed budget for the 2023-24 school year maintains an academically vibrant program that prepares all students for 21st century challenges, maintains staffing levels to support enrichment academic offerings, and support for the social and emotional well-being of our community. The proposed budget introduces elementary global language to grades 3 through 5 and additional support for AP Calculus. It continues momentum in technology coding and supports the co-curricular and athletic activities, K through 12. Lastly, the budget maintains a priority of safety in the maintenance of our facilities and grounds and employs fiscal prudence in maintaining the tax levy below the New York State tax cap. Looking at the overall revenue for the school district for the upcoming school year, as you can see, the changes are for the overall budget is about $4.3 million, or 6.71%, which is mainly driven by state aid of an increase over $4 million, thankfully due to the final restoration of foundation aid. The tax levy will be increasing, or is proposed to increase, 1.85%. That 1.85% proposed tax levy increase is less than the allowable amount as per the New York State tax cap levy formula. Looking at the spending as a whole, this pie chart shows, as you can see, the instruction and benefits are approximately 80% of total spending, followed by general support at 9.9%. Transportation and debt service are about 9% combined. And lastly, the interfund transfer is about a 0.3% of the overall budget. Breaking down the budget into what is called a three-part budget, the capital portion of the budget is $7.9 million, followed by the administrative portion of the budget, which is $7.2 million. And lastly, the program, which is the bulk of the spending, is about $53.5 million of the spending budget for next school year. Should the budget not pass next week, the Board of Education and the district would then have three options. At that point, the first would be to resubmit the defeated budget to the voters in June. The second would be submit a revised budget to the voters in June. Or lastly, the Board of Ed could choose to go straight to a contingent budget. The contingent budget would remove just over $864,000 from tonight's proposed budget. In addition to Proposition 1, which is the annual budget and tax levy vote, there is a second proposition as well related to capital fund expenditures, and Mr. Balzan will get into a little more detail of the proposed expenditure.
Thank you, Mr. Caputo. As Mr. Caputo mentioned, there are two propositions. I am here tonight to speak about Proposition number 2, which is just over $1.1 million. I'd like to remind the community that this expenditure will come at no additional cost to the taxpayer. And we've earmarked the following four projects as part of the Proposition number 2. First is the high school in Herbert locker replacement. Secondly is the Maurice W. Downing roof replacement. Thirdly is the high school drop ceiling replacement. And finally, if funding allows, the tennis courts at the high school are in need of repair. As you can see from these photos, and actually Dr. Lewis mentioned this earlier, the class of 1975 is when these lockers were installed. So it's been almost 50 years since we've had these lockers at both the high school and middle school. So as you can see, a side-by-side photo, which is a rendering of what the potential of the lockers could be at both buildings. We've also taken a look at warranty issues. We're outside of our 30-year warranty for our roof at backside of Maurice W. Downing. We've also had considerable amount of water damage over the years that we've had to continue to repair. So at this point, we're looking to replace that roof for this summer. If funding allows, as I mentioned earlier, our third item on our agenda is to address some of the drop ceilings at the high school. This will complete the final phase of that project, as we covered a lot of ground last summer with the high school. And finally, as you can see from these photos, we've experienced some cracking and stress in our outdoor basketball and tennis courts at the high school, so we are looking to earmark that as well. Lastly, as phase 2 of our parking lot initiative, we've designated $95,000 to the Malverne High School for a parking lot resurfacing in the rear of our building. We have identified some safety issues, as we did last year. We would like to address these in this current budget. Thank you.
Lastly on the ballot will be the annual election of a Board of Education candidate. For the upcoming election, running for the seat of Ms. Josephine Botita for a 4-year term from 2023 to 2027 will be Ms. Josephine Botita, running unopposed. Again, an annual reminder, the vote will be next Tuesday, May 16th from 7 a.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. And as always, the voting will take place at the middle school gymnasium. We are excited to propose the budget to the community. We believe it provides not only for the current and upcoming graduation class, but for the class of 2035 as well, to get these children into the school district and a good foundation moving forward. Thank you.
Are we all set then? Can we move on to the resolutions? Okay. We need to add a resolution to the consent agenda. Oh, wait, no, let me read the resolution. This will be added to the consent agenda as item 12Y. Whereas the Board of Education of the Malverne Union Free School District received a student transportation appeal dated May 2nd, 2023, which appeals the district's decision to deny transportation for the 2023-24 school year regarding the student named in confidential attachment A. Now therefore be it resolved that upon a careful review of the underlying record and all additional information submitted on behalf of the student named in confidential attachment A, the board hereby denies the appeal and affirms the district's determination to deny transportation. Can I get a motion to add this resolution to the consent agenda? Second? All in favor? Okay. Now I need a motion to accept as the consent agenda items 10, 11, 12A through Y, 13, and 14. All in favor? And then I now get a motion to approve the consent agenda. All in favor? Yes. Okay, the consent agenda is approved. No old business. New business. Okay, let's do this. Okay. I believe we can move into community input, open, public input. Oh, okay. So this is actually the opening for the budget hearing. Okay. So anyone have anything, does anyone want to address the board regarding the budget? Yeah, we'll check online. Okay, we have two questions from online. Please, Mr. Gilhooly. Oh, okay, so we're going to close the budget hearing as there are no questions. And now I'm going to open for public participation for our monthly board meeting. Does anyone here wish to address the board? Please come down, please. You guys look familiar. Welcome back. Make sure you turn the microphone on and introduce yourselves, and then you can address the board. Yep, you got to push the button up. They don't know.
Testing. All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Good evening. My name is Camdebe Emagwali, and I'm from Malverne, New York.
Good evening. My name is Julian Benoit, and I'm from Limburg, New York.
Good evening. I'm Akila Ali, and I'm from Limburg, New York.
Good evening. I'm Sebastian Norella, and I'm from Limburg, New York. When we were starting 6th grade, we were disheartened to learn that students were unable to use the field at Howard T. Herbert during recess time. Last August, my friends and I asked the Malverne Board of Education if this could be changed, and we are extremely happy to know that you heard our little voices. We truly appreciate all the effort that went into making this possible. I would also like to extend a special thanks to Mr. Nelson and Mr. Miller for facilitating this into an effort to make us happier, healthier, and smarter kids.
We came to speak to the board this evening, not only to express our heartfelt gratitude, but also for you to consider more enhancements for this green space to be able to transform it into a more usable space for students. If you are willing, we would love to be a part of a planning committee to access and help come up with ideas to make this space more accessible and user-friendly. The enhanced green space would be used by students during the school day and could be available for community use during after-school hours and weekends.
Some possible ideas could be adding a walking track to be able to walk and exercise during our lunch periods, adding a few tables and benches to be able to eat lunch outdoors and play table games, adding outdoor fitness equipment stations to help keep us active and strong.
We understand this is not at all a small request, and there is a financial side that also needs to be addressed. We would be willing to help brainstorm for all aspects of a project like this. Please let us know if this is at all possible. Thank you in advance for hearing us out.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you.
Civically engaged.
Yeah, this is what we're working at.
Civically engaged.
And your voices are not little by any
And Julian,
measure.
where did you get that voice? That was not the voice I had in September.
So I understand you're asking for like a planning committee to see if there's something that we can do to improve so that, of course, that's definitely something we can discuss and get back to you guys on, and we'll continue to speak with you throughout the rest of this year and next year so that we can hear what you guys have in mind, okay? I look forward to hearing more of your very carefully and well-represented information and requests. Thank you. Does anyone else wish to address the board? Please, thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sandy Ronquillo, 59 Madison Street, Limbrook. So I've been researching the criteria for the New York State Seal of Civic Readiness, and there are multiple pathways for earning points towards that seal. One of those points is able to be earned during middle school, 7th and 8th grade, by completing a capstone project under the direction of a teacher. It was beautiful to see tonight the 8th graders set the tone and raise the bar for their high school experience. The same could be said for raising the bar for the civic engagement if an investment is made at the middle school level. Engaging the 7th and 8th graders in a capstone project working towards the seal of civic engagement not only benefits the student and school district, but also our surrounding communities. All that being said, is there something in the works for middle school capstone project? And if not, could something like this be considered in the near future?
Sandy, I knew we were unleashing you when we put you on that parent committee for graduation measures. And yes, that is, we have the seal of civic readiness and we have the seal of biliteracy in the high school. And if there's a pathway, Jason Mack will follow that pathway. So it could be a part of the U.S. history capstone project. It could be attached to that. Okay. That's a natural place for those kids who are beginning the U.S. history in 7th and 8th. But I really have not discussed it with Mr. Mack, but I have a feeling he's listening. And we will definitely follow it up, as we will with the students. But thank you for bringing it.
Thank you. Yes,
you
I'm
mentioned it at SAC, and I forgot to
Right.
mention it
Yes,
to him.
hoping to capture that momentum
Absolutely.
and kind of propel them.
Absolutely. I love that the middle school is pushing us to be better at the high school. I just really love it, because if you're doing all of this at the middle school, then we've got to get ready for them. We don't want to lose momentum. We want to make sure that we're building on that momentum. And watch us. We definitely will deliver.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sandy. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board? Okay, you said we have some questions online, please. Thank you.
Question 1, Grace Moran, 40 Madison Street, Limbrook. Given the recent incidents at the middle school and high school, could the district work with the Malverne Limbrook PD to have a patrol directly before and after school hours? At the very least, it could deter potential crimes if patrols are seen in the area frequently.
So the short answer is yes. We have a very strong relationship, and I want to thank the Malverne and Limbrook PD. So I can reach out to them tomorrow. Thank you.
Next question.
Before you go on, every time we've had any incident, the Malverne Police Department has been more than willing to step up. And, even this week we had a student who wasn't feeling well, and I'm crossing the road and I saw the 2 PDs coming. They respond to this district in a minute. Think about in the fall when we had some incidents at the football game. They are so wonderful. So, yes, we hear you, but understand that they are always at the call.
All right, next question. Lisa Fershing, driving Park Avenue, Limbrook. Will there be upgrades done to the HTH girls softball fields? Bleachers are in need of replacement. Thank you.
So that's a good question. Mr. Palin and I will sit down and discuss this. In fact, last week we were actually speaking about the middle school softball field. So yes, this is something we could take a look at in the future. Thank you.
No additional questions? Okay. Last chance? Anyone else want? Okay, I'm going to close public participation, and then we're going to mention the dates that we have coming up. On May 10th, the Howard T. Herber Spring Concert for the 6th grade. It's tomorrow. May 10th already. That's at 7 p.m. tomorrow. The 7th and 8th grade concert will be at 7:45 p.m. at the Howard T. Herber Auditorium. May 16th is our district budget vote and trustee election from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. at the Howard T. Herber Middle School Auditorium. Please, 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 as parents, and all students, parents, anyone eligible to vote, please come out and vote. The celebration of the arts will start at 6 p.m. And is that going to be at Howard Herber as well? Is that at the gym? Okay, that's going to be at the gym in the high school, is the celebration of the arts. There'll also be a science symposium, K-12 art exhibit, and all of this, again, is at the Malverne High School gymnasium and at the library as well? Oh, science research will be in the library. May 24th, the Malverne High School Chorus will have their spring concert at 8 p.m. That will be here in the MPAC auditorium. May 29th is Memorial Day. The schools are closed. I do believe our marching band will be participating in the Memorial Day parade through Malverne. Please come out and support our wonderful marching band that works so hard. May 31st is the Davison Avenue Spring Concert. The 4th grade will be at 6:30 p.m. The 5th grade will be at 7:15 p.m. Both will be in the Howard T. Herber Auditorium. Our next Board of Education meeting will be here in MPAC on June 13th at 8 p.m. Did I miss any dates?
Friday night is the Davison Avenue Talent Show. All of our wonderfully talented students right here in the MPAC. So I'm hoping that everybody will come out. It's Friday night, I believe at 7 o'clock. Starts at 7? Yes.
Nicole, you said there's a Juneteenth celebration?
And Juneteenth on Friday the
June
16th.
Okay.
On the 16th.
Yeah, go ahead. You tell us. Thanks, Nicole.
Hi, so June 16th, we're doing the Juneteenth Jubilee. It is after school starts at 4 p.m. They will be lining up for the parade at the St. Paul AME Church, and that will be the kickoff. And we also are selling fundraising Juneteenth Jubilee shirts because we are going to try to be promoting a district-wide Spirit Day. So all 4 schools, we're encouraging to do shirts and wear them on the same day. So you get more information for that.
Thank you so much. Anything else? Okay. I think we are ready to take a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Can I get a second? Thank you. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you all so much for coming out, and thank you guys so much for advocating for your fellow students and your school. Thank you.